Yeah, I mean, we entered a little bit already through conversation. You explained how you entered the modeling in world in Japan. The fact of having your vision board a little bit on your room, like that's what the trigger that started
Mhm.
putting you into that. So I assume, like as you said, most of this desire of becoming a model was coming out of the magazines and seeing other people doing that path. Was there any other
Mhm.
intrinsic motivation behind it, or it was purely like uh, your dream, let's say like this?
Yeah,
That's
I think that you get influenced by media, and as a child, I remember thinking fashion was so beautiful, and I was just so inspired by the attainability of that. I didn't have access to nice clothes as a kid or opportunities like maybe some other families did because my parents were surviving. Um, they both were working very hard to provide for a family, and I think having dreams is so important because then it really does push you and leads you to want to do better. And I'm so grateful that I had that desire because those dreams that I had as a little girl never left me. Today, I have my own business. I do hair and makeup. I also have done photography for celebrities, and I've worked with uh, a White House doctor doing her makeup and a billionaire. I mean, I have had such great reach with my skill set because that was a dream I had as a kid. And I love the fact that now I can impact other women's lives and help them feel confident. So many times I have a woman sit in my chair, whether I'm taking a photo or doing hair and makeup, I see that she lacks confidence. And that has a lot to do with just something inside. It's not having your self worth. And I have the power to say encouraging words to help her transform her mindset where she does believe in herself. And I know that that's a gift and that's a strength that I'm using to make a difference.
yeah. I mean, I think you said something interesting in here, and it's also like media puts a lot of pressure, but as far as I know, it's a pretty demanding um, environment. It's not an easy place to be. It puts high pressures. There is a lot of expectations. And i- how do you contrast that? No, how do you stay grounded to the floor? How do you stay yourself? How do you, I don't know, combat a little bit this imposter syndrome also that a lot of people might have? How did you deal with that in your career?
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually started a workshop for women. I traveled to Beverly Hills, to Boise, Idaho, and Portland. And I just came back from another back to work event workshop in Phoenix, Arizona. And the purpose of these workshops is because I recall just having to battle imposter syndrome and then dealing with the lack of access and opportunities. So I just want to remind people like imposter syndrome is not just not feeling worthy, but it also causes symptoms like perfectionism. So that's something that I dealt with a lot, was just having this unnecessary sense of perfectionism. And then also, if you're not working with others and collaborating, that's also a sign of imposter syndrome because you're solely relying on your own efforts when you could move so much faster with a team of people that support you. And I realize that affects all women, all men. Sometimes you just don't feel worthy of where you're at, but you have to take a step back and recognize that you worked hard for this moment and the success, that it is okay to be able to enjoy those things.
Yeah, I think the whole not doing the journey alone, no, also that's important for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, I don't know, it's also an industry that you seem like to be very individualist, and I don't know if it's the reality behind. I'm a little bit biased in here because the everything that I know about modeling and pregnancy and everything comes out of movies, series, and everything that probably it's not the reality behind. And maybe you can destroy a little bit this stigma that is around it, and tell me a little bit more how it is really to be a model and what is the daily life of a model person, or a girl or a woman who wants to be inside
Yeah.
of this industry?
So you have to be prepared for rejection because you're going to get a lot of no's. And you also have to recognize that it's not sustainable because there is such a thing called ageism where a woman will get to a certain age, or maybe she'll go through transitions in her life, like having children, for instance, or getting married.
Mm.
Um, these are these are natural, beautiful milestone moments in your life, and sometimes modeling is not going to fit that lifestyle. But doesn't mean that you can't continue to dream and pursue, but the level of opportunities or investment you make into that career path, it can be limited. I love the fact that as a woman, I could be multicultural, I can be multi-talented, I can be versatile in my career, my goal setting. And I think that applies to all women. We could all achieve something on another level if we put our minds to it, because I'm not just a wife, I'm not just a mom, I'm not just a former politician or a model or a beauty queen, a business owner. I can do anything I want. I can be anyone that I want. So it's not a limitation. It's actually just your mindset.
Makes sense. How now I was going to ask a basic question, but how many things have you done in your life? Like it's it sounds like you've been in a lot of different roles. Like maybe you can summarize it
Mm,
a little bit. Like you entered through modeling, but then you said that you had as a hustle some jobs, but then you entered in politics. I know
yeah.
that you've been working a lot of with voluntary work, going to NGOs and helping people. How many things have you done?
Yeah. So I figured out my life purpose, believe it or not. So I feel like everything that I've been through, whether they're challenges or successes, that it really has combined together to really help me focus on my purpose. So my purpose today has been about supporting women. And I mean supporting women to become financially independent. And it goes back to again to my story of humble beginnings, not having access, watching my parents who were immigrants not have access. So now I find it's my responsibility to help women find access to get employment and to have financial independence, because I really do believe that it is a right for a woman to pursue her dreams and also be financially independent or contribute. So what I've been doing is using my philanthropy work to help promote organizations such as Dress for Success, to promote workshops that really empower women to get a job. We have so many women who are underemployed right now or transitioning from being a stay-at-home mom, or mothers who are being forced to go back to work because the inflation is really high. We also have people coming out of the military trying to figure out where they fit. And also people lose their jobs. And so it makes sense for me to use everything that I've learned to help support these women so that they can be successful and they can lead for success. And as everybody knows, if women are successful, it helps their community, it helps their family. So my experience, whether that was being in modeling, as a politician, working in the corporate world, being a business owner, my experience and my desire with hair and makeup, photography, it all has combined so that I'm able to speak openly and also transparently to women to help them feel empowered. And I know that my impact is great. And the whole purpose of the title that I have as Queen of the World is to be able to speak louder. I'm sitting on a platform, actually standing on a platform where I'm able to go globally and share my story and share my impact so that it will make a difference.
Maybe before we just enter to Mrs. Queen of the World, because I have a lot of questions. I don't really understand the whole concept around it, and maybe it's my ignorance about the whole pantry world and the modeling. But how do you do that? How are you working right now with trying to help women around? Like, do you have workshops? Do you do public speeches? What is the model that you're following right now?
Yes, so I have been featured in several, I want to say about, I've done, so many interviews, TV interviews, in studio TV interviews, traveled to provide more information and also provide free headshots. So that's what I'm doing for my year of service. I am providing professional headshots for women so that they can present themselves as a trusted, capable individual on apps like LinkedIn, or if they're trying to write an about me page because they're a small business owner, they have a headshot that will help them with recruiting. Women, and especially people who are looking for jobs, typically do not account the cost behind a professional headshot. It's very expensive, and no one is thinking about that. They're asking their friends to take just a photo of them with their camera phone, hoping that that will suffice. But as we know, first impressions are made within the first 6 seconds. And it's so very important when you're looking to capture that job and beat out hundreds of other people that you present yourself in the most confident, best way possible. So I have been traveling around this country, helping women feel their best, look their best, and that's how I'm contributing my time and my service as Mrs. Queen of the World.
So cool. That's maybe then I will ask about Mrs. Queen of the World. How do you arrive to have this title? What is the path to arrive to get or achieve an impressive accomplishment that you had? I don't know. It's a big thing, I suppose. How do you arrive there?
Yeah, so I'm a competitive person. I love goal setting. So I remember when I first walked on a stage, I was scared. I had forced myself to practice, know who I am. You have to have an elevator speech. You have to know yourself inside and out, because you're not competing against the other women. You're actually competing against your fears. And I really think that all the years of rejection shaped me as a person, because I don't take no for an answer. If I get a no, I'm still going to work towards whatever I desire. And pageantry really did push me outside of my comfort zone. And I love the fact that it really defined a milestone moment in my life, because I don't have any regrets with the charity work that I'm doing. I feel like this is my way of giving back to the world. It feels so good. It's so fulfilling to me.
If you liked this short video out of the full episode, you can find the link to it around here and in the description below. Of course, if you are also interested in checking out other episodes, please subscribe and like.